Here we are again. Um, if you're expecting this video to be like a big meltdown or some sort of long, winding rant, ramble, an excoriation of all of the Trump cultists, I hate to disappoint you, but I don't know if I really have that energy within me anymore. And it's not because, oh, I'm so exhausted by all the news and I'm burnt out. I mean, who could blame me for being burnt out by a world this ridiculous for human beings? But a lot of it comes from changes that have taken place in my life. Changes in the ways that I process things, changes in the ways that I deal with crappy news. Just changes in general, and I've made the conscious choice to not get too out of hand. I'm upset, I'm disappointed, I'm embarrassed, of course. The United States has embarrassed me for many years, and it's probably no secret to anybody who's been watching this channel or my previous channel for any amount of time that I don't consider the United States my home country. It's just where I happened to be born, completely by accident. I had no choice. I was born into this clown show where nothing is good, nothing is great. America was never great at anything except bombing other countries, of course, and making tanks and planes and bombs and all that good stuff, and producing some of the most unhealthy people in the world and some of the most uneducated people in the world. Whew, I said this wasn't going to be a rant. Okay. Um, I sat with this, and that's what I'd really try to do with bad news and things that get me upset. I try to let the emotions do their thing, sit with the emotions, let them come, and then I look at the information, the facts, and I go, okay, what can I learn from this? Can I get better in any way? Could I do anything differently? It's come from a lot of, well, meetings and things. ACA is a really, especially if you came from an alcoholic family, or if you were married to an alcoholic, or if you were affected a lot by alcoholics. ACA is a really good system, and I'm actually amazed that I've stuck with it for as long as I have. But it's really helped me be able to take horrible news like Donald Trump winning the election again and just kind of, sit with it. Like, for example, my immediate reaction is Trump supporters are dumb. And a lot of them really are. A lot of them absolutely are just out of their minds wacko, who will fall for the biggest lies and and the most easily refuted misinformation. All they have to do is go to Google or open up a book for like 2 seconds, and they can't even be arsed to do that. It's really hard to not look at these people as hopelessly ignorant, as stupid. But on the other hand, the United States political system breeds this kind of thing, right? The re-election of Donald Trump is a product of the system, the two-party system that is never going away, at least in my lifetime in the United States. And when enough people feel like they are worse off in this 4 years than they were 4 years before that, what choice do they have? They have been brainwashed by the system to believe that voting is their civic duty, that these two people are like, these are the two you got to choose from. And when it comes to third parties, they've been brainwashed by people to think that third parties are just not a viable option. They're not a viable option, but that's only because the two-party system reigns supreme. They could still vote their conscience. They could make the choice to say, no, I'm not going to vote for this pile of shit. I'm not going to vote for that pile of shit. I'm going to vote third party no matter what. And if you call me a spoiler, blow it out your ass. I don't care. They don't do that. You know why? Because the system tells them that's wrong. They call them a spoiler. They tell them they're wasting their vote. They're flushing it down the toilet. And, you know, in this era of rampant misguided misinformation and bullshit, it is very easy to get lost. It's very easy to lose your way. But it's only acceptable and it's only excusable up to a certain point. After a certain point, you've got to realize, oh, I'm being lied to. And you gotta turn the TV off and you gotta just go read something. You gotta do the work to break through the misinformation. You can't keep relying on news organizations to do that work for you. They're not gonna. They're not gonna, cousin. They are not gonna do that work for you because it's not profitable. Fact checking is not profitable in this day and age, in this late stage capitalism. You've got to be the fact checker. And as you can see by the election results, and as you can see by American culture in general, it's just not happening. That sort of behavior is not in style right now to question what you hear. If it comes from a source that says over and over again that they're credible, or if it comes from like a demagogue or a pseudo cult leader, why not believe it? So I am not surprised at all by the outcome. Do I think that the U.S. is worse off than it was under Trump? No. Are you kidding me? You've got to be out of your mind to believe that the United States is in a worse economic position than it was under Donald Trump. It's arguably in a much better one. More than arguably, it is factually in a much better one. But here you have this bloated orange idiot who loves to talk about how evil immigrants are and how they're going to come for everything that you love and everything. It's the same boogeyman that's gotten all these right-wing idiots elected here in Europe. It's the same right-wing boogeyman that got, or the same, right-wing boogeyman that got all these right-wingers elected here in Finland. It's that are ruining Finland at this moment as we speak. They are currently working on ways to continue to dismantle and disrupt and destroy the middle class so that their rich buddies can get even richer. It has been the same story for so long now. Supply side economics, Reaganomics, Thatcher bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really changes. And that's another reason that I'm not very surprised at this result. This style of governing, it comes back around. It comes and it goes and it comes and it goes, and people don't learn. And if you're waiting and praying and hoping for Gen Z to figure it out and learn from, no, they're not. And the election results show that too. Gen Z, you can't put your hope in Gen Z. In fact, just kind of stop putting your hope in politicians. Stop putting your hope in leaders. In my perfect world, hope would be placed in one another. You have more in common with the immigrant that is being demonized for working their ass off so they can make a better life for themselves. You have more in common with that person than you do with any of these billionaires. You have more in common with your neighbor in whatever neighborhood you live in. You have more in common with them than you'll ever have with any politician who claims they care about you. They don't. They just flat out don't. Whether it's Kamala Harris, whether it's Donald Trump, they don't. The only politician that might have a good claim to actually caring about people, I think, is Bernie Sanders. Because he's been telling you all for years now, this two-party system, it goes back and forth and nothing gets better. No, your quality of life is not improving. And hello, he's been out there ringing the bell and people just, close their ears. They just close their ears. Putting your hope in leaders, in politicians is just, I think that hope is better reserved for each other. And that sounds, oh God, that sounded just so corny. But that's really the only way out of this capitalist mess, this nightmare that we have to face until the day we die. Even babies being born right at this moment, this is the world that they inherit. Good luck. No, we got to start putting our faith in each other. And we got to start building communities that can outshine. Okay, now I'm starting to sound really, really corny and really not in optimistic. What's the right word? Can't even think of the right word right now. Idealistic, sure. Um, but I did say that it's my ideal world. I'm really tired. Just try to look after one another. This world that I look at right now with all the division, and I'm not a centrist. I'm firmly on the side of whoever is seeking to prop up the underdog. I'm on the side of whoever is looking out for the poor, whoever is looking out for the people who need the most from us, because a society is just that. It's a society, and it needs our participation, and it can't leave people behind. And if you're a poor person and you voted to leave other poor people behind, then you're just, that's silly. That's ridiculous. Just a ridiculous notion. I will end this video on a somewhat hopeful note. These things I've told you about, like these ways that I try not to be too reactionary anymore, the way that I try to think about things more thoroughly, that I try to examine myself and my feelings and my emotions, and make space for these things. It also comes with it also comes with a little bit of hope. I can't talk right now. Oh my god. It also comes with a certain amount of hope that things will work out, that there is a process that I should trust, because there aren't a lot of humans I can trust. And there definitely aren't a lot of politicians that I can trust, or people above me with the power. I don't trust them. I don't trust a billionaire. I don't trust a CEO. I don't trust a manager. I trust a process that I can't explain. I don't know if it's faith. I don't know if it's blind belief. I don't know what it is. It's not God. Don't get nervous. Okay, it's not any of that, but it's something that I choose to believe in because everything else sucks. Everything else sucks. Every other belief system and every other way of trying to make sense of this absurd, except for some philosophical things, of course, it sucks. And the best way that I've learned to handle stuff like this, whether it's something as big as this election or as small as my current pretty worrying situation is in life right now, I try to trust the process, as they say. Whatever that process may be, whatever may be running it, I've got to put my work in, I've got to put my effort in, but I've also got to take those things that I can't control and just. And the election is one of these things. I'm in Finland now, people. What am I going to do? What am I going to do for a country that I just really. I never want to live in ever again. I never even want to hear anything about it ever again, if I'm being honest, but it's just one of those big, big countries that you can't avoid. Just take care of each other. Yeah. As they say here in Finland, Kyllä, siitä. Kyllä, siitä. Look it up. And have a good day, folks.